Hello everyone and welcome back to KDH Art Class. Today, let's talk about mosaics. Mosaics is taking pieces together to create art. And I got the idea from a dear friend of mine. She was an art teacher. She is no longer with us. And before she passed on, she did a really cute little project that dealt with glass beads and glue and how you can turn them into like these little sun catchers that you can put on, hang on your windows or hang in the trees and stuff like that. So it got me to thinking about a project that we could do here at our houses with things that we might have around or again could easily get from pretty much any store out there. Here is what I came up with. Those little pony beads, these nice little gemstones, buttons, even bottled, not bottle, what are these things? Can, from all the sodas that I should not be drinking, and I'm drinking. You can save a bunch of those. Those would make a beautiful little thing. You can even use some glitter, sequins, you know, those little flat sparkly things. You can use any of these objects and you're going to just kind of put them together so they're pretty much touching each other, and then we're just going to secure it with glue. Now this one over here I did with a clear glue, and this one right here I did with just regular school glue. I think any of the glues out there, if they generally dry clear, would be great. Even if they don't, imagine if you mixed a little glitter in with it or a little bit of paint with it before you put it in there. And then you have this nice kind of opaque or even a pearl looking or a sparkly looking, basically grout. We're pretty much going to need something to go in between our little objects to help them glue together. So to get started, you're going to need to find a lid. This actually came off my little sequence lid, and I can use either side. This side, it's low out here on the edges, which is fine. And then I can build it up and it'll be sticking out more. I could do that, or I could flip it over and I'm going to get this smaller kind of square area. I'm kind of excited about what this one's going to look like. This is, of course, from all the coffee I've been drinking lately. So it's a coffee lid, but you can use butter lids and, you know, yogurt, sour cream, anything you have in pretty much your refrigerator or in the pantry. Make sure you use it up first before you start grabbing the lids, or replace it with some foil or some saran wrap. But obviously, I did this circular one with my little coffee lid, and the beads and buttons that I chose, it looks beautiful from both sides. This side's a little bit more flat and you can see the glue a little bit more. This one has more of that texture in it. And I intend to hang it outside to make a nice little beautiful window decoration, or in the abundance of trees that I have around there. So you could use a circular one. I even played around with the tea lights. It's not the easiest thing to pull it out, but then I finally got smart, and you know, it takes a while, but sometimes my brain needs a little moment to catch up. And if you pull it by the wick, it helps pull it right out. I did discover it was a little difficult to get it out, and so I really had to, you know, smush the bottom up a little bit to get it out. And that's where I got this little medallion looking one. Actually, I think it's really, really beautiful. And in fact, I'm going to turn it into like a little necklace or even a keychain. And we'll talk about, you know, what you could do for hanging it, of course, when we get closer to the end. All right. So, whatever you decide to use is fine. So this little tea tea light. I removed the candle, and I went ahead and I filled it up with beads and buttons and all kinds of fun stuff in there. Um, you know, different shaped beads, sequins, it doesn't matter. Okay, you just want to fill it up. All right, so here in this one, I'm thinking about using all of these. So I'm going to start with some buttons, get them going in the corners, maybe kind of going down the middle. It's the same on both sides. Okay. Just to kind of start filling it in a little bit. I am going to want this to hang. So I thought, what perfect way to hang it than using some recycled found objects like the tab from my soda can or my tonic. You know, wherever you are in the country, everybody has their own little version. So I'm going to be putting that in the corner. The other thing you can use, like this one, I use the pony beads to put the string through it to hang. Same with this one. I used the little pony bead. I just made sure that my pony bead did not get filled up with glue, that it simply just had the glue around it. Okay. So I started with some buttons, and I don't know, I'm thinking this button might actually look really cute right there to kind of fill in that hole. We'll have to see. Keep in mind any of these gems, on one side you're going to see the sparkle, on the other you're not, unless you take, you know, another gem and you glue them together and then attach them. You can definitely do something like that. The bottom one will get some glue around it, so because it's sitting on this container, and the glue is just going to go through the path of least resistance and find its way wherever it would like to. So I think it'd be really cool to add some of these little sparkly gems. All right, that looks good. And then you have these like fun shaped little beads. Too same old, same old. Let's switch it up a little bit. And then I have these nice circular beads. As you can see, pretty much anything works. I'm just needing to go around and start filling in the holes. Here's all these pony beads, and in fact I have seed beads stuck in there that I wasn't able to get out. And why fight it? It was meant to be. I'm meant to have those little accents of color inside my pony beads. And now I just need to start moving things around so they're touching, and I'm filling in the extra space. Oh, this one's black, but it's like iridescent. That means it kind of shimmers the rainbow look to it. Iridescent. A lot of kids surprise me when they talk about, oh, is that kind of like at the gas station? You see the water and it's all sparkly and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's the pollution. But, you know, people don't mean to. It's just convenient for them not to clean up after themselves very often. All right, so it's getting more and more tricky as I'm just trying to find little spots for whatever I can put in there. It's okay if they stick up a little bit. Ooh, he'd be kind of fun. I wonder if that would work. And maybe add 2 more to it. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's put you over there and you over there, and I wonder if he'll fit. No, just a little too big. How about you? All right. So I filled in that area as best as I could. And I think I might even need to be able to put him behind this guy. So I have something that's sticking. And now I can probably add that button, and now I have a little hook to run my string through when I'm hanging it. And again, you can use any glue that you would like. One could be more clear, one could be school glue. Glue all would probably work really well because then it would probably last outside. And oh, I do have some. All right, so let's give the glue all a try. And I'm going to try these outside, make sure they work. Again, you can add glitter. I just don't feel like getting super duper messy here. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that you go around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to go around each one of the beads and buttons and gems that you've added in there to make sure that they stick to each other. So you're kind of outlining everything with the glue. Go around my button, and it's going to seep into the cracks. And that's perfect. That's what we want. All right, so what's neat about products like the glue all or the tacky glue, it's stronger than the regular school glue. We did a wood sculpture project and we used the glue all and it held the wood together. Some of the kids were like going, I changed my mind, I want to take a piece off, and they couldn't. The glue all was acting just like a nice strong wood glue. And once it had dried, that was it. There was no taking it back. But of course, that was just a challenge for me, so I had to bring out my hammer. Yes, I keep a toolbox in my classroom. Most of us art teachers do. And we had to just, banging it off was not an option. We tried that. Of course, it makes everybody scream when you're banging in the classroom and they're not used to that loud noise. But we did manage to use the other end of the hammer, the little claw, and wedge it in there and pry it off. So it did eventually come off, but it was impressive at how difficult it was to do that. All right, so anyways, it's going to take about 2 days for this to dry. I recommend 3, but after 2 days, take it out and flip it over. Okay, so the bottom will start to dry. The bottom, it's going to take longer. So the top will start to dry, it'll hold it in place, and then when you pop it out of its container, make sure you flip it over. Okay, as you can see, there's little bits and pieces left in here. That's okay. Make sure you flip it over and let it dry on the other side, at least for another day. So you can, this one was thin enough. I did about a day and a half, and then I flipped it over and left it alone for another day and a half. So it was still about 3 days, mostly because I started other projects. But again, you can see that with KDH art class when you go on YouTube and check out my channel. All right, so since this guy's not going to be dry by the end of this video, let's go ahead and clear out some of this. And of course, you would fill this area in with glue. I did not, again, fill in the pony beads. I wanted to make sure that they were left open in case I needed to add anything there. I know these little kits are great. I mean, you could just make some neat stuff, and I bet you can even use milk caps. And maybe not the ones that you have to twist, because they would have, it would be very difficult to get those off or get the stuff out. But if it's the ones that you just peel up and peel down, I bet those would probably work for this too. I have not tried it. So we have our little piece and we're ready to go. You could simply take a piece of string, yarn, rope, whatever you have, twine around the house, an old shoelace off a shoe, and feed it through one of the beads. And like I said, it'll hang beautifully in your tree or on your window. What's great is you can now get those little hooks that don't damage the walls, and you can hang it pretty much anywhere. Okay. So this one I started to do something a little more fancy, and here are two options. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I took 3 strands, put them through, and then I took all 6 of those strands, so the 3 and then 3 when it went to this side, and I circled around, made a nice little circle, put all the strands through it, hold it just like you're going to shoot a basketball into a basketball net. So I pulled it all, and then I pulled it tight to give it this nice little knot look and to help hold the medallion flat. If I didn't do that, the medallion would naturally want to turn sideways. Okay. From there, it left me 3 strands on this side and 3 strands on this side, and it was a matter of choice. I could simply braid, just like girls braid hair. Okay. You could do that. That's pretty simple. So you have your 3 strands. I recommend that you tape down part of it. In this case, you would probably tape down the medallion, but I can't because I've already done all this part. So I'm down to these 3 strands. There they are. All right, let me get them to a spot that makes sense to me. Boom. All right, so you're going to take 3 strands and have it upside down. All right, so you have your 3 strands. You take one on the side, and you notice I have them open. I'm going to take this one on this side, and I'm going to put it to the middle. Then I'm going to take this one on this side, and I'm going to put it in the middle. Open them up a little bit, and repeat. This one goes to the middle. This one goes to the middle. Now, if you're just lightly doing it, you're going to have a nice big braid, or you can pull it tight, and it'll tighten it up. It'll be a nice tight braid going on. Repeat. This side to the middle, this side to the middle. And again, this side to the middle. You notice I kind of will start automatically changing the spots. This side to the middle and open it up. This side to the middle. This side to the middle. And that's basically how you braid. As you get a little bit better at it, then you'll be able to start holding them, but it's still the same thing. Cross it to the middle, cross it to the middle, cross it to the middle. So you could braid, which you give it a nice finish. Make sure once you get to the very end, you make a circle. Okay, and put all 3. It's 1, 2. Here's my 3rd one. Up there you are. Get through there. All 3 of them go through the little loop, and you can tie it off so it doesn't come undone. Okay. From there, You'll do the other side with the braids, and then once you've tied that side off, then you can take these and you can tie all of them together. I recommend just doing a big circle with all of those strings, and just make sure it's big enough to slide over someone's head, or maybe if you did a really short one, it's just going to be like a little keychain medallion that you can hang onto a purse or a backpack. It's entirely up to you. So that's the braiding. The other option I got from a friendship making bracelet. Again, I'm going to kind of secure it. And again, you would secure your medallion, or you could secure the other strings. That's what I did because this was still drying. And you can start with the number 4s. And you'll actually see this technique again when I do bracelets, but you do a number 4. It's not the best number 4, but there's the number 4. And then you go under the strings and you pull it up. Now this technique is going to need a lot longer strings than the braiding. Okay, number 4, same string, under, and pull. You could do different color strings, in which case do the same number of number 4s. This would be number 3, or the third time I did it. And this is number 4. And let's just say I'm going to do 5. Once I've done 5 of them, then I'm going to change strings, because you will notice that it's getting shorter than the others. So if you use up the one, then it won't be the same consistency through it. And once I've done this, then I can get the next one. It doesn't matter which one. If you're doing a color pattern, you're going to see that these 5 are going to be one color, and then the next 5 are going to be whatever color you get, and the next 5 will be the next color. And you can do your pattern that way, or you can change it up. All right, there's the number 4, and you pull it through. Heads up, this technique, you want to keep the other 2 strings pretty much pulling straight down, and only this one is going up, but it makes like a spiral look. I've actually had some students say, that really bothers me. It's not straight. It's doing this candy cane little spirally look about it. It's going to naturally spiral around. And what I do is I just kind of help it along to make sure all my twists are equal distance down there. But that's just, 2 different ways that you can finish it off. Again, once you get down to the very end, go ahead and circle it off. And tie it off so it doesn't come undone. And then there's all kinds of neat ways that you can connect them from that point. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed making your little sun catcher medallions using found objects around the house and glue. This is a mosaic where you're putting different small pieces together to create an artwork. And I think it would be a wonderful gift for like a mother, a grandmother, teacher. How fun would this be to do this around Mother's Day? Anyways, remember, it takes about 3 days to dry. Right? But once it's dry, you are ready to hang it wherever you would like to hang it, or set it down just for a beautiful decoration. You could do multiples and then connect. Ooh, how fun. Almost like making a quilt of these. or doing a bunch of them and hanging them in the tree like almost like ornaments. All right, well, I hope I helped you get creative in your thinking on objects that you could use or find. Try it. It'll be wonderful. And stay safe, stay healthy, keep creating. Don't forget to go to KDH Art Class and subscribe. Bye.